literally uses Russian talking points. I mean, Tucker Carlson went over there and did the whole dog and pony show, backing up Putin, basically. And on the left, you see them marching for Hamas, a terrorist organization. This is a terrible place to be, and it can happen here.
That was Bill Maher speaking to Fareed Zakaria on CNN and equating the right-wing support of Vladimir Putin to left-wing, pro-peace, pro-Palestinian protesters.
Let me just show you how everybody really has their own talking points. As far as left and right, they're still doing this thing, right? This is why when a person like me talks about Palestine and what's going on in Gaza, people think, oh, you're just a left wing. What do you vote for Biden? And like, we think this way. We think the way we think is so crazy to me. It's like everybody has to be in this box and list, right? All right, so hold on. And this is why I feel like I've been siding a lot more with Jimmy Dore, whatever. Okay, so what she just said there, they just compared the right-wing support of Putin to the left-wing piece of, because I keep having this problem, to the left-wing peaceful protesters of, Palestine. No, like you're doing it too. Americans don't want war anywhere. Okay, just so you know, they don't. And if people really understood what the Maidan coup was, like, that's actually weird to me. That comes from Ana Kasparian, because I usually think that people on the so-called left, whatever that is, that they actually know about like our meddling in Ukraine, the Maidan coup, NATO expansion. That felt kind of weird that she said that. And also, it's not like glorifying Putin. Tucker Carlson went over to talk to somebody because we never hear the other side of a conflict. Never. Not mainstream anyway. We don't. I mean, things are different, thank God it's not like 1940, 43 or whatever, 1946, where it is what we tell you and that's it, in any kind of global war or whatever, or weapons of mass destruction. Now people have access to information literally at the palm of their hand. So if they're not using it to get information, that's on them, right? But don't come here with this, oh, the right wing, they love Putin. Like, come on. Y'all do this too? Wow, this is crazy. Like, I don't even mind them with the whole, I'm sorry, yes, I am on a rant. I don't mind them with the whole thing about, like, when they talk about Trump and right wingers and elections, because I'm completely like disillusioned when it comes to Republicans. I just feel like the whole thing is a clown show. I'm just totally disillusioned, right? Disenchanted. That's fine. Most of America is with their base, whatever that is, their side. So I never get mad when they do those takes, but that right there was just, it just sounds so establishment to me, what she just said.
On college campuses, who we recently learned are heavily funded by a Jewish family, by the way. Now, that's a story that we'll cover in detail tomorrow. But during this interview, Bill Maher also attempted and failed to prove that he isn't a massive hypocrite for smearing these student protesters. Let's take a look.
I heard a couple of people say, or maybe they wrote it online, that, well, I'm a hypocrite because you were for the demonstrators in 1968 or whatever it was, when they were demonstrating against the Vietnam War. Yeah, that was very different. First of all, the students weren't against their own. These students were threatening other students. That didn't happen in the Vietnam War. And being against the Vietnam War made sense. It was a war that we probably should not have been in.
But
this is demonstrating and protesting for a terrorist group.
They could be demonstrating and protesting for a ceasefire and to end the bloodshed in Gaza.
If you guys like these episodes that I'm making, please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I do thank everybody for watching, and I really, really enjoy making these for you guys.
Where 36,000 people have been slaughtered by the IDF. But no, you can't protest what Israel is doing. That, by definition, according to Bill Maher, means that you support Hamas.
Yeah.
Complete lie, by the way.
pausing here to deliver some.
Yeah. So we could pause and like I can do it again, and ask for assistance, but we're just gonna skip over and really what she just said. That's the thing is like, oh, they're protesting for Hamas. Like, even that talking point to me is like, it's so lame. It's just, it really is. Why can't people just be, well, to be honest, the reason why they're protesting was so we could divest out of Israel and they wanted their freedom of speech back. I mean, let's have a real conversation, right? So in the college campuses, people were saying like, from the river to, I'm not going to finish saying it because I'm afraid, I am afraid that this might get pulled because Congress has codified that is a call for a like an ending of people. So we have speech laws, right? And so in college campuses, if they like kind of talk about this issue, the colleges can be defunded. That's why they don't want them talking about it. So can you imagine going to school where the whole Israel-Palestine debate used to be like, it used to be a thing. Like clearly it used to be like a debate. Ben Shapiro would debate people on this. Can't happen anymore because they could lose their funding. They could lose their money. Now, I know the right always gets excited like, yeah, down with the colleges. Yeah, they're all bad. It's like, no, we need colleges, right? Because, there's hedge fund managers and stuff like that. Listen, okay, we need colleges. Just extract the Marxism out of the colleges. I say that all the time. But conservatives are too scared to say that. So they say just take the baby out with the bathwater. I'm not one of those. Why are the people who funded the colleges when it was okay to say culturally inappropriate things and anti-American things like whiteness is bad and having classes that say whiteness is bad and all of that? How come they didn't pull the funding then? Why did they pull the funding when it was so-called anti-Semitic? But whatever. These and those are the conversations we should have. But the conservatives, people like Tim Pool, and I'm calling him a conservative because there's nothing to be a conservative now. Mainstream conservatism is whatever you want it to be. Yeah. Disrespect to him, right? But that's not a W. But hey, that's what he says. He says it's a W. Israel's going to take down a squad force because the American people couldn't get enough of the real truth to just take them down themselves. Because we still have to keep this Republican Democrat cartoon show going.
Unless they're really deserved. Because sometimes it gets thrown around so much that it loses meaning. Like a great example is anti-Semitism. It gets thrown around so much for any slight critique of Israel that it's lost all meaning now, right? But Bill Maher deserves it. He's clearly a racist. When you do a protest for Palestinians, he says, oh, they're supporting terrorists. They're supporting Hamas. He thinks if you're supporting Palestinians, you must be supporting terrorists.
And that's the thing. He does think that. Now, see, I'm going to lend Bill Maher a tad bit of grace. Bill Maher is Jewish. He's never going to look at it any other way. I'm not saying that not Jewish people can't look at it any other way because Max Blumenthal certainly does, and Aaron Mate, and so does Norman Finkelstein. But they've also chose to look the truth in the eye for what it is. Dave Smith is awesome, right? Bill Maher is older. He refuses to mess with his reality like that. So in his mind, as a Jewish man, the Palestinians are coming for him. And I'm lending a slight bit of grace, but just a little bit. Because as a Black woman, I had to come to terms with the fact that guess what? The white supremacists, they don't exist. They're not coming for me. There's no militia. If I go out to downtown Philadelphia, it's not the white supremacists that I'm worried about coming to get me. So I had to deal with those realities, right? Like I had to remove myself from the conversation and really take a real look at it because the country deserves that, right? Because the people deserve that. But Bill Maher's not going to do that. Anyway, he's older, whatever. He can do whatever he wants, but he's not going to do that. Okay.
Literally racist. So he's a disgusting human being. So I've never seen him talk about Muslims without having scorn and derision, like just oozing from every fiber of his being. He hates Muslims so much, he can't contain himself. So no, the Vietnam War protests were just like this one's. He's like, well, that was for a good cause, like Vietnam was the wrong war.
But I agreed with that cause.
Yeah, I agreed with that cause. I didn't want to kill random Vietnamese people, but Israel just slaughtered 36,000 people, at a bare minimum 25,000 women and children. But I agree with slaughtering them. I mean, are they even really people? They're all terrorists. So,
by the way, over the weekend, a literal Holocaust survivor, okay, went on Fareed Zakaria's show and called what Israel is doing in Gaza a genocide.
yeah, I guarantee.
Well, that's probably not the good Jew. That I'm serious. Because I've had people say that to me, by the way, on the conservative side, like where I'm like, well, what about all the Jewish people who like they're protesting against what's happening in Palestine and everything? So like, what about them? Well, you know, Casey, there's good people and bad people, right? So, you know, like there's good Jewish people and there's bad Jewish people, and those are the bad Jews. So the right has really found its way, and like it turns into that for me. The right has found its way into full on woke. Okay, the right has gone full woke for Israel. They have, because what that person explained to me was exactly what Democrats told me when I said I was voting for Trump in 2020. They said, you're not the right kind of black. As a matter of fact, they called me a certain kind of name. It's kind of like a furry animal with like their eyes do something right here, and you guys know what it is, right? I don't care. I'll take all the insults. It's cool. Like it's so cool. But now it's appropriate to say which Jew is good and which Jew is bad. The hypocrisy has been so jarring, so alarming, so much in my face that I'm like, thank you, God, for the truth. I rid myself of these labels. Thank you. I am a Christian first, America first woman. Thank you. I see you guys at the next one.